Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to have a little bit of a look at the most expensive cards, most valuable cards from Pokemon Scarlet EX and Pokemon Violet EX, the new set which has just gone and dropped over in Japan. Now, we are new with this, and the prices will change over time, and some of these prices will change quite quickly. But we do need to have a little bit of a chat as we get going. Interesting to note that the only special versions of the Terrestrial Pokemon, your Gyarados and your Arcanine, they do not make the list. They are not even close to the list, which is kind of understandable. They're not that playable. And thankfully for me, the special art rares of both Iron Treads and Great Tusk, also nowhere near the top 10 list. That makes me happy because I must have them. They are beautiful. What does make the list? We've actually got a pretty clear top 10 here. And in at number 10, although let's be clear, number 9 and up, there is a big gap. But squeaking in at number 10, we've got Koraidon. This is the gold version of it. And here's the deal. Koraidon as a Pokemon, nah. It's actually got a really nice ability that lets you attach 2 basic fighting from your discard pile to your basic fighting Pokemon in any way that you like. But it also ends your turn, so no. It's coming in at 5,980 yen, which comes in somewhere in the region, with a little bit of rounding, of course we're going to be rounding, $46 or £37. Not bad for number 10 on the list. Now in at number 9 on the list, we've got the gold version of Miraidon, but we've got a big jump here to 9,980 yen. Not far off double. So we've gone all the way up here to about $77 or about £62. They are the same rarity. They are the box legendaries. What is the big difference between Miraidon and Koraidon? Playability. And it really is as simple as that. This is a way more playable card. I wish I could give you like a better explanation. This is just a much more playable card. It's got that phenomenal ability that once during your turn lets you search for and bench a couple of lightning Pokemon. And obviously then what you can do is search for 1 lightning Pokemon and a Miraidon to keep the chain going. And you basically never run out of basic lightning Pokemon for like the entire game as soon as you can search out a single lightning basic. Yeah, it's fair to say this is a phenomenal card. It is going to see a huge amount of play, so the gold version comes in at number 9. In at number 8, we've got the gold version of Nest Ball, and this one's pretty simple. Nest Ball is an extremely playable card. Comes in at 13,800 yen. So we see another fairly significant jump here. You're talking about $106 or about £85, and we're only on number 8 on the list. There's a big gap between 10 and 9. It creeps up a little bit and then it jumps towards the end. But this is Gold Nest Ball, which I know is an obvious statement. I just kind of told you that. But the thing is, Nest Ball is a great card for getting your basic Pokemon out. And this is the fancy gold version of it. So it was kind of always going to be right up there in terms of being very expensive and very sought after. Do remember there was a gold version of Nest Ball in the Sun and Moon base set. So you can actually already go and get a version of that. I prefer the new version personally, but do bear in mind there is another version of it. And there is a possibility here that actually that is going to keep the price of this one down a little bit, because there is another option. In at number 7, the card that makes me sad, it's the special art rare of Penny at 13,800 yen. Do please bear in mind that this is currently shown as sold out, so it is going to be relisted on the website, but the chances are the site I'm looking at here is going to be listing this a little bit more expensive. You have been warned. Oh no, actually it was sold out. Literally, as I'm recording it, it's come back into stock, and it is actually still being listed at 13,800 yen. And the reason I love this one so much is because it's Okacheke. And I love me some Okacheke, and I want a complete Okacheke collection. And there's already the Japanese Flareon, which is ridiculous, like a couple of grand at this point. but I love the artwork. I love Okacheke. I mean, Penny is a card. It's not a card we're expecting to see a huge amount of like that. You return a basic Pokemon in play and all cards attached to your hand. It's fine. It's a good card. It'll see some play. It's not right up there as the best supporter in the format. And yeah, it makes me sad because I really want this card. You'll notice that as I put on the screen, though I didn't actually say it, 13,800 yen is actually the exact same price as Nest Ball. I have popped this one above because I think it's going to be. I looked at a few other sites and they seem to average just a tiny bit higher. So where they do come in at the same price, and there is another one coming up right now, I've looked at a couple other sites to try and break the tie. In at number 6, though, we've got Penny. This time the secret rare, not the special art rare. The full art, not the special illustration, or call it what you will. Comes in at 16,800 yen here, so a little bit more expensive. We've seen a brief jump up to $130 or £105. So it is a tiny bit more expensive here. It does make me happy that this is the more expensive one, because nothing against Penny, but I'm not going to collect all the Penny cards. I want the special art rare because it's Okacheke, and I love me some Okacheke, so that being the cheaper one does make me quite happy, because that's the one I'm desperately going to need to be picking up. In at number 5, we've got ourselves the Koraidon special art rare, coming in at 16,800 yen, which is of course the same price we just saw for Penny, but this one again does seem to average just that little bit more. And the thing is, I just told you a minute ago that although Koraidon is cool, and Koraidon, you are talking about a box legendary, a popular card and all of that. Oh, I should mention it is currently shown as sold out, but it'll come back in stock a little bit higher. But that's one of the reasons why we put it above Penny, because at this particular store it was sold out, whereas Penny wasn't. It's just phenomenal artwork, and it really is as simple as that. This is a stunning piece of artwork of a box legendary that everybody loves, and that's why it's getting up here. Obviously, Miraidon is going to be higher up on this list. That shouldn't really surprise anybody, but this is still a card very much worth picking up. In at number 4, we've got the special art rare of Gardevoir, and this is coming in at 25,800 yen. So we do see a fairly significant jump here as we get to Gardevoir. You're talking $199 or £160. This is a very expensive, very sought after, very worthwhile card. And there are a couple of things going on here. First of all, it's Gardevoir. Gardevoir is a very, very popular Pokemon. Everybody loves Gardevoir. But also, you are talking about a ridiculously good card. As often as you like during your turn, you can attach a basic Psychic from your discard to one of your Psychic Pokemon. And if you do, you have to put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. This is a very, very good card. It is expected, and we won't know until we really start seeing tournament results, but it is expected to be a very widely played deck, possibly one of the best decks in the format. And for that reason, the best version of it is always going to end up being, super fancy rare and all of that. And this very much is the best version of it. Don't expect this card to ever be cheap unless this deck completely crashes and burns. Now, in at number 3, we've got the special art rare of Miraidon. 31,800 yen. Now, this one is also shown as sold out at the moment. There are non-mint versions, which are a little bit cheaper, but I think it's only fair to compare the mint prices of them. A lot of these stores, like the one I'm looking at, they will actually give you, A- versions, which are a little bit cheaper. But I don't care about them. That's not what we're looking at here. The mint version is 31,800 yen, though the fact that it's sold out means it might be relisted at a slightly higher price. But we're talking here about $245 or £197. And I told you how great Miraidon was a moment ago. And this is way cooler than the gold version. And I don't think that's particularly a controversial statement. I'm not saying the gold version's not cool. The gold version's very cool. But this is a special art rare, and it is absolutely amazing. And if we put these two cards side by side, I mean, come on. This is clearly the best version of it. And this one is widely expected to be the best or one of the best decks in the format. Plus, Miraidon's cooler than Koraidon. I'm just going to put that one out there. Yeah, this is a card you very much want to be picking up. And then the top of this list is dominated by a female supporter, as we see so often. In at number 2, we've got the secret rare, the full art of Miriam, coming in at 41,800 yen. So again, we see a pretty significant jump here. It's about a third more expensive than number 3 on the list. We're talking about $322 or around about £260. This is a very expensive card. And I'm not the only one. I cannot be the only one that when Miriam was revealed went, who? And then you have a think for a while and you're like, oh yeah, it's a nurse from the school. But how many of you, and let me know in the comment section because I genuinely want to know, how many of you when Miriam was revealed to be a supporter card in the set, how many of you looked at this card and went, oh yeah, Miriam, I remember her from the game, she's cool. I remembered her, it just took me a minute. The thing is, we're not just talking about a very popular female supporter. Though we are talking about a very popular female supporter, it's also a card that lets you shuffle 5 Pokemon from your discard pile into your deck and draw 3 cards, which is a phenomenal effect. Like a crazy good effect. And this is going to be a staple in basically every deck, or at least a lot of them. So you've got kind of the perfect storm here of lovely artwork of a popular female character, which happens to be a really playable card as well. And this is a ridiculous price at the moment, but I'm not 100% sure it's going to fall that much. And then obviously number 1, we've got the special art rare of Miriam coming in at 61,800 yen, which is almost like 50% more again. And this is absolutely absurd at this point. Like, you're talking $475 or £385. Like, this is a ridiculous amount of money for a card. And I'm not saying this will go down in price, but I am saying this is such a ridiculous amount of money, it might be worth waiting to see if it does. I was recording my video the other day, or editing my video, about all the secret rares, and my 4-year-old daughter came in. And in a lot of ways, she is a very stereotypical 4-year-old girl. She likes pink and purple and rainbow and unicorns and shiny things. And when she saw this card, she went, are you going to get this card, Daddy? You should get this card. And she's right. I should. It's a beautiful card. But sorry, lovely daughter, I don't have £385 right now to drop on a special art rare of Miriam, because that's what it's going to take. It is a crazy expensive card, and there really is like a huge gap between Miriam and the others. You know, if you look at the top 3, Miriam's 61.8, 41.8, and then Miraidon is 31.8. Like, there is a big gap. Also worth noting, all 3 of those top cards, they are all in Violet EX. So expect booster boxes of that to be a little bit more difficult to get hold of in the near future. Hopefully there'll be lots of reprints that'll all calm down. But with all of the top 3 coming in one particular set, yeah, that is going to be a little bit of a pain moving forward. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about these. I want to know which of these you want to pick up. I want to know if you pulled any of them. I want to know anything you want to tell me. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord and chat with us, all kinds of fun things. Oh yeah, and get shout-outs on the channel like the lovely Freelancer645, who is one of our newer Patreons and seems to be a very lovely person. So thank you very much for all the support and for being a very lovely person. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.